the decision maker? Well, you might as well talk to the janitor. This is sales for nice people. If you paid attention and you had a look at the Deal Diagnosis X-Ray Playbook that I shared last week, you may have noticed that there's a couple of things missing in there. There is no mention of budget. It doesn't talk about urgency. I mean, kind of tangentially. It doesn't speak about the decision maker. And there's a very good reason for that. Because no matter how much of a budget and an urgency your buyer has, and no matter how many decision makers you get in a room together, if you have no insight and understanding of your buyer's reality and their challenges, then you might as well be talking to the janitor because you won't get ghosted as much. Here's the thing. All those high-ticket sales influencer types with their suits and their shiny ties and their immaculately coiffed hairdo, they would say, yeah, but how are you going to land a sale if you're not talking to the decision maker? And yes, obviously, that is true. But if you use the traditional standard qualification mechanisms for a deal that everybody talks about, like the urgency and the budget and then the decision maker and all that stuff, then you end up working on a transaction. You end up being seen as just one other provider of a service or a solution that we buy dozens of times each year that we can just plug into our business. It is weak positioning to only look at the hard numerical things that you can see in a spreadsheet. If you want strong positioning, where you are perceived as an expert and an authority and the holder of rarefied skills and knowledge, then you have to take the time to properly understand what it is that your buyer is up against, to really understand their goals and their fears, their concerns, their challenges, the impact, the identity change, how it affects other stakeholders when they buy. All that knowledge, all that insight, the depth and resolution of your understanding of their problem means that you get to explain their problem better than they could. And that means they automatically credit you with having the solution. Now, in the traditional sales world, where it's all about the hard criteria, none of this gets mentioned. Maybe they talk about goals and obstacles to the sale. But it's nothing like the deep psychological understanding that you get from asking yourself the deal diagnosis questions about the problems and the identity and the challenges and the buy blockers and the problem stack. Go through those questions in the deal diagnosis and you'll have a way of showing up and communicating with your buyer that is so much more relevant and compelling than standard sales conversations. It is going to automatically make your buyer lean in and say, tell me more and how does it work? Because you'll be perceived as an authority, as an expert, as somebody rare, as something to covet. Whereas with the normal standard deal qualification criteria, you're just one of the providers. Don't be one of the providers because it'll be easier to land your sales if you really get your buyer. And because you position yourself as an expert, you'll also be able to earn more money for your projects. So if you want to just bang your head against the wall and talk to decision makers who don't make a decision, then do what all the traditional salespeople do, or just go and talk to the janitor because you'll get ghosted less. Or you get the Deal Diagnosis X-Ray Playbook. You can click the link below and download it for free, no opt-in required. And then you'll be learning how nice people get their head around their buyer's problems to such a degree that the buyer says, how does it work? When can we start? Click the link, get the Deal Diagnosis X-Ray Playbook, and let me know what you think.